You and I with Rashmi Shetty is a simple attempt of bringing in stories of people you and I can draw inspiration from. Ordinary folks, extraordinary lives. Their uniqueness and individuality that make them interesting to talk to and to listen to. A reaffirmation of the fact, open your eyes wider. The world is far more beautiful when we acknowledge the presence of both you and I. Our guest today is V.Nandakumar, an IRS officer who is currently the Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. He was chosen as the top 20 youth icon of India by India Today and was awarded the Best Auditor of the Year 2019. His mission is to reach 2.5 lakh rural, tribal, slum, first generation, orphans, government school and college students every year. He also trains the government and aided school and college teachers and mentors and grooms 20,000 civil service aspirants, including visually and physically challenged, year after year. Listen in as Nandakumar shares his journey from being a school dropout, a dyslexic, to being the topper in geography and the magical miracle of meeting Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who gave him clarity on what to do. Nandakumar IRS. An inspiration, a motivator. You've had a fantastic journey so far, just beyond the qualification of IRS. Such an honor and pleasure having you on You and I with Rashmi Shetty. And I am curious, because this is a personal journey podcast, how did little Nandakumar start to become the Nandakumar IRS that the world knows you as? How far can you take us into your childhood? And welcome on this podcast.
Nice again that to be in this conversation, you and I. See, my name actually not that popular even during my school days because I'm not that studious or rather mischievous also, both. Because someone has to be mischievous and someone has to be studious for being popular. But I was known only for that a boy who will sleep immediately once the teacher starts. So my mode was actually during the school days was a sleep mode. That's how people all know me. In Tamil, we used to call Tungumuji. So one fine day, my school friends and college friends, they used to have a lot of discussion. So when someone stated, "Arey, yeah, our classmate, someone has become an IRS officer. Who is that? Who is that guy? How to identify when I felt and what is my identity?" So for that, I was searching. Probably the IRS again, it's not a qualification, rather. It is externally someone has given me an identity, what I'm worth for.
All through life, we have very different identities as we grow up. This is one of the identities of little Nandakumar. But as Nandakumar was growing up, what is an identity that Nandakumar can recall instantly of who you were and what prompted you to get onto this journey?
Anyone who has scaled up will definitely have their hardship. I never had an identity. The only identity was the roadside boy who were selling my lottery ticket and my mechanic shed, my civil engineering, my sound servers and everything. Whatever I found that I can find my day, I was there and learned my life and led my life. That's all. But I didn't have an identity. So when I was a school dropout, everyone had a social stigma towards me, stating that they never allowed the children to be to associate with me. The reason because they think that being a school dropout and also I even do not know why I didn't have my education or I couldn't make up my education. So they felt if those children are mingling with me, they will also become like somewhere that they will also become nonsense, and they never allowed their sensible boys with this nonsense type.
Then
That is
what
how.
changed it, Nandakumar? If you were a school dropout, how did you get onto the path of education? What changed it for you? What conversation prompted? Do you remember the trigger?
Many times, many have asked this question. Was there any trigger? I never could recall any trigger for me. I was not in the environment to have a trigger, actually. Because my environment, again, the mechanic shed and everything, it was only all the teasing attitude of the elderly people and also inhospitable attitude and all these again. Um, so I just took it. The only thing I was feeling in myself was what made me as to discontinue my education. Now I thought, okay, why don't let me try myself, because I don't want to reveal to anyone. And I just tried, and the lead was only given by my neighborhood friend. He was stating, because he was also couldn't get to his 10th standard. So he said, why don't you appear as a private candidate uh, in the DPI? That's again Directorate of Public Instruction. That was they only conduct the public exam. So why don't you try and appear as a private candidate? So I pursued from that moment. I pursued my education, not knowing to anyone, as close-hearted and like a close, uh, which was not known to even my parents also.
Okay, so that was your closely guarded secret.
Exactly. No one knows that I'm studying.
Okay.
Not studying, rather learning.
I love what you said. Not studying, rather learning, because I think when
Yeah,
study moves to learn, attitude shifts in how you're going to pick up whatever you're kept with and along with, and from the books also. So,
exactly.
yeah. So, what made you just now, change from study to learn? Because when you corrected yourself, there was a lot of meaning in that. So, what does learning mean to you now when you look back and connect the dots?
I didn't do that. I had a learning disorder called dyslexia. So I came to know only when I was preparing for civil service. The education, I felt, what is actually this education is all about? Is it an artificial or natural? We all think to get educated to get employed. That's the basic funda of a parent. Why should I get educated? See, sometimes someone is not getting an employment for the particular graduation. Definitely, no parent will say to join that particular course. Suppose so that is how education, because parents want the education to provide an employment, a safe employment. That's the first criteria, a safe employment. And that employment should give him a lead to the later life. So that is the basic fund of an education. They don't want someone to learn, someone to experience out of learning, and converting the information into knowledge into wisdom. So that is how I was feeling. So what I felt after discontinuing my education and continued after very long years, actually, I felt what actually I missed during my school days, what my teachers also were actually did not enforced on the purpose of education. So that is the moment which actually I was thinking about. So I felt why I'm not able to understand. So something I require to understand. So that is the process where I was actually striving for. So it is like becoming process. See, when I've learned, there is no purpose of remembering
Yeah.
or by hearting, or rather even that making use of it only for the exams. So even yesterday I was talking to some of the school children, where I was telling the education is not to memorize. Education is not to by heart. Education is not to write in words and be oral to someone. It is for yourself. So keep whatever you study, when it becomes learn, because when you realize and you were able to see look around. See, I could able to make use of the light since I require a light. I'm using some electrical equipment. So that electrical equipment is a physics actually. And whatever communication, the communication LTE, that is again a physics. So as a common man, we think that the knowledge is only to express for scoring and for someone. Am I going to use it for myself and to others for the welfare? So I felt from that moment, I said, only when I learn, I can have myself, and it becomes my part of my personality. When it becomes part of my personality, then I can use it anywhere to anyone at any point of time.
Powerful, Nandakumar. I think if this attitude is passed on in schools, no subject will be a drudgery or a challenge. And you cleared 10th as a private candidate, then 12th also like a private candidate, or you joined school for 11th and 12th?
Yeah, I tried my options. I never failed to try, but no school was ready to provide me school. That's again because my 8th and my 10th is a private actually marching. So they denied. I was very particular. I want a science group, but they denied science because science is my passion also, and the interest because the field, as being a child labor, I was working in so many industries, like I said, mechanical spares, electrical, electronics, and also TV repair, all those again. It is more of a science. So that curiosity has given me, why don't I join a science group? But no school given me an opportunity. So again, there is no option. I need to take a commerce group as a private candidate to appear.
Okay. And where did you get your lessons from? Who taught you? Who coached you? Because you've gone into commerce, there is accountancy, there is math. So how did you manage all of that?
Of course, everyone needs a guru. A guru, like I said, it's not a teacher rather, a guru. Why do I say guru? Because a teacher will teach and stop. Whereas a guru, even after teaching, they start watching and observing and even see that where do we commit a mistake. So that is why we say guru. Teaching means it stops there. There is a guru, it's again more than a teacher. They try to watch and look for reasons. Why someone has learned or why someone has really learned to perform, or why someone has not learned not to that, or how he has not learned the mistaken that whatever I commit a mistake that how he is not performing or rightly not performing. So that is how I feel a guru. A guru required to observe us and point out and even to give a course of an action. So I felt even during my school days, I didn't have a guru. The guru was only the nature, because when I look at the nature was a greater has given me a lot of wisdom to understand how someone should behave, and that nature attitude, the nature behavior was the greater guru. In fact, I would say, but I'll tell you how did I learn these subjects, because when I said I have a dyslexic, I never knew that I'm dyslexic because I need to repeat so many times to understand. It is not at one single time, because not less than some 100 times actually I need to go through each and every subject, whatever, each and every page and each and every alphabet in the word. So my curiosity was the point to reach the understanding. So till that moment, I sustain and progress. So once the moment comes, now whatever I've understood, I will look around and I say stating. So that was the lead where I was stating, and that lead actually, I'll tell you, very simple. Suppose I keep a money plant in my home. Okay, I put it in the water, and you don't tell a money plant go towards sunlight. See, the money plant will start taking itself, going towards sunlight, and you don't want to do anything. Once it's kept, it climbs and it goes towards the sunlight. The same way, every human being, they have their own self-guided mode. If I have a solution, if I have an answer for my life questions, these subjects are nothing, I'm telling you. So that is where I felt this nature itself has turned to be a guru. But for my civil service, I would like to state Mr. Sridhar at IFS, I said he is not a coach or a teacher. Sridhar IFS is supposed to be my guru because the only word he stated. I've interacted not very much. Of course, whatever which I wanted for myself, that interaction was more sufficient. Maybe the others would have felt they didn't have much of a time to interact with. But my point of reference was whatever he stated, that you are the only one who can make yourself to succeed. And don't think that someone can externally make you to perform and to succeed. So that moment I felt, and he gave the lead. You have all the personality attributes to become a civil servant. And that attributes only requires some knowledge, acquire it. That's all.
You make this journey sound so simple, but I know you must have had your own difficulties because you're saying you did not identify you're dyslexic. And there are challenges that dyslexics face when they see alphabets and numbers. And you've taken commerce, which is a play with numbers as well. And you moved on from completing your 12th to college because UPSC comes much later. But even to go in that direction of, here is a 10th standard private candidate who's taken commerce because science is not given to him and is appearing for his 12th standard board exams in commerce and has a problem learning things and doesn't know why, but keeps the curiosity alive. Okay. So you move on, you complete your 12th. In spite of all of this, you just go ahead. What did you tell yourself, Nandakumar, when it was not easy for you to understand? What kept you going? What were you telling? Because you seem completely self-motivated. So what is it that you kept telling yourself to push yourself to clear that 12th standard exam and get into college? What were you telling yourself?
See, one thing which I always keep it in my mind, when someone refuses or someone denies, I exhaust everything and see that everything is falling in towards me. That is the attitude.
How do you do that?
See, that is how, when this world denied education, and I said this education is only for employment. Let me acquire this education and see that and tell everyone this employment is going to be falling in queue. And I cleared my Group 2 TNPSC Group 2 examination. I didn't join. I cleared my TNPSC Group 1. I become the Assistant Director Rural Development. I was a Deputy Registrar Cooperatives and also Deputy Collector Trainee.
No, but who told you about all these? Who told you about all this? In college, once you finished 12th and got into college, what subject did you take? Did you continue with commerce or?
No. I, of course, all college actually denied admission because I had my 6th PC and my +2 certificate. Though I have several certificates with me, it's not one single certificate. I have heaps of, that's again, a bunch of certificates. The only college I obtained application, applied, and they gave admission. I was surprised, some colleges given me admission, but at last I came to know that out of 60, only 48 got admitted. It's English literature. And once English literature given, it's gone. Because I knew that what is my problem. Because though I'm not knowing that I'm dyslexic, I knew that the language was the toughest one, where I was consistently failing only in the language. At least I could able to seek an average in other science subjects and social science, where you can tell stories, you can tell your description. But for language, the grammatical part and the syntax, the perfection is only for the grammar part, where I struggled so much, confused me a lot. Somehow, when English literature was given, I took it as a challenge, and so this is how which was happening. So literature, but I managed it and cleared the English literature somehow. with several attempts. And that is how my story went on.
Okay. And what drew you to TNPSC? Somebody in your class was writing it?
Many times we make our children to get into an environment, like a school environment and a college environment and a coaching environment and a studious, we say no, studious environment. So people need an environment to get conditioned.
Yeah.
That's called an environmental condition. A classical in
Correct.
psychology, we used to say the classical conditioning and operant condition. So we need an environment, we expect an environment, and the parents, they see that whether the environment is appropriate for my children to learn. But definitely, my government college environment did not. When I was telling after completing my graduation, when I saw my professor that sir, I was preparing for civil service. Oh, he immediately stated, "Oh, civil supplies, very good. One day I will see you in ration shop." I was thinking, very good, professor. When I said civil services, sir, he got confused with civil supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So that time, see, this is how even I'm not blaming. Even the teachers also, the professors and the teachers, they're not still aware for the civil servants. It requires only a graduation, a simple graduation from any university. Recognized university, that's of course.
But what gave you that direction to go and apply for TNPSC? Did you hear about it, read about it? Did you meet somebody from the service, from English literature? Who told you about government positions, services?
See, of course, I always say it's a happy accident, because some accidents which happen, which may have a collateral damage. Of course, mine was a positive accident, because when you're taught an action or on the higher pedestrian, or on higher pedestrian, and it's again an above average, definitely you will meet an opportunity. You will meet an opportunity, and you should also either you have to move towards an opportunity, or you should make that you're in an environment which gives you an opportunity. So there are only two ways. So what I felt was this simple graduation, because I had only some 51%. Now I was aspiring for a career. Already being a C certificate graduate, NCC certificate, I got selected to the Indian Army and the OTM again, because I was A grade, and that is an opportunity. That's non-technical entry scheme for the NCC graduates, especially the arts graduates. For the technical, they have a technical entry scheme also for science graduates. Of course, I got selected, but I couldn't because I met an accident, so I couldn't continue. So that accident made me to turn into now. If I'm not into the army career as an officer, then let me look for the career which is equivalent to or more than. So that made me to aspire for civil service.
Okay. You said you were dyslexic, but you didn't know about it till later. Who even told you the name, and how did you get to know you're dyslexic?
That's a good question, because see, many times even the mistakes which we do, unless someone points out, we do not know, like OCD. No, if I'm a OCD, if I repeat, no, for others it may be very odd. The same way, I didn't knew that even in yesterday's school speech also, the teacher was stating it was 587. But when I actually heard it, and also when I reproduced it, I made it 857. So 587. But when I heard it right, but when I performed it, I made it at 857. And only after listening to the video, I came to know that I misspelled rather. So same way here, when I was preparing for civil service, one of my co-friend actually, who was an aspirant also, who was actually preparing, Mr. Shrikant, he is now in Australia. He's an Australian. He was in customs as a DEO, a data entry operator. He was the one who was telling me. When I wrote a letter to him from Delhi, he was stating, Nandakumar, go and check. You have some problem in letters. He also did not know that I'm dyslexic. Why you have so many spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes, sentence mistakes? The problem, why I'm telling you, with this problem, I'm really finding it that I have a question for you. How will you make, because I know how tough the civil service. I don't know how you're going to make it. Kindly go and see, or are you aware of this problem? Then only I came to know that the alphabets and the sentence, whatever I've written, it is all a dyslexic oriented mistakes which I did. And no one even has told. They have only given score in the answer paper that I'm wrong. Okay. But no one has told me. The first time, one of my friend who stated that there is some problem in my expression, written expression. So with that, I got assessed. I came to know that I'm dyslexic.
And when you realized that you were, and that this condition that you are having is a challenge, how did you overcome that to write an exam as competitive as UPSC? Because mains is only long answers. So
yeah, exactly.
How did you go ahead, write it to get the central services?
That's a very close secret. I would like to reveal what actually I did. It is again a strategy which I was evolving. See, when I know I have a problem, so I was evolving a strategy. Ultimately, if a question, it has actually a key answer for any question for UPSC, especially for the descriptive type. You need there is a key answer. So I was aware of that there's a key answer, and the entire key answer, whatever who is evaluating, they are not going by for preposition, article, or word by word. There is a keyword for 200. How many keywords can be? There can be even 6 or 7 keywords. Hardly for 200 words, there may be not more than 6 or 7 keywords, and the examiner is only looking for that 7 or 8 keywords for in that 200. See, you're giving 200 words, you are presenting 200. In that 200, they are looking only for some 7 or 8 keywords. Where have you understood and made it a comprehensive one, a logical, and have you presented in a logical way? Like a course meal, like they give a starter, soup, a starter, then again a main, so and a dessert. So the same way, you need a course of an action. So that sense you require. I can't give a dessert for a treat. Array have dessert, then go for a at last giving a soup. No, that's a reverse order. So I was having something that even to present the keywords, I need a course actually. So that course actually I made it. So before writing an answer, I used to give an answer teaser. So I write all the keywords to the examiner. I'm going to write only for 200 words. I'll be writing some 80 to 70 to 80 words, which is very minimal. And I had even problems because there was 24 answer sheets actually. With 3 hours, I could able to for 300. I could able to only attempt some 200, not more than, because I couldn't make it a statistics. I couldn't make so many other aspects also. So only with the minimal 200, out of 200, I could able to secure 130. Then it's because I was stating, no, it was, I just gave an answer evaluation orientation. So I'm giving a orientation that these are all the keywords you are looking for, you are searching for. Instead of highlighting in my answer, I gave it as a bunch. Okay. So I don't want to dilute it and give an answer. So with that 80 words, I used to spread the answer because I didn't have much of a time. I can't write too much. I can't write for 200 words. Someone will write 400 words. I was scared. Actually, literally, I was scared. When I wrote my first main, the end of the third hour, I couldn't complete the 16th page. 17th, 24 main sheet, the 24 sheets. I was only at the 16th or 17th page. I was keeping that's again, this is gone. This is how my actually, but I said I was actually practicing that the keywords should not have a mistake. So it was more of a pictographical memory, and those keywords were actually I was keeping it in my subconscious mind. And even at a midnight, when you ask anything, that keywords which was in my subconscious mind, because my conscious mind could not remember so many things. My memory is not even a floppy drive. Okay, that type, old type, no floppy drive. So I can't remember, or I can't know anything which is not relevant for my presentation. So I was actually understanding the question. For that question, I was actually practicing my answers in my subconscious mind. And I was very particular that I shouldn't commit any spelling mistake or a syntactical mistake in presenting that. So with that repeated practice, from 16th page, I was to 18th page. From 200, I was covering to 220. So that attempt I cleared.
Okay. Okay. So here you are at the end of civil services exam, and you cleared the interview and you got into IRS. Okay. When you got into the service, what was the first thought that came to your mind? Were you very happy, thrilled? Of course, you must have been. But what is it that you told yourself that you started on this mission of being an inspirational speaker, motivational speaker, telling children to go beyond their comfort zone? What prompted you to get on this journey of becoming a person who children can actually look up to and understand that the journey is possible?
Actually, this journey, whatever I made it, when I cleared, many used to ask me, did it thrill you? I said, it never thrilled me. And even when I become an All India geography topper also, it never thrilled me. The reason because the destination which I determined to go ahead, I knew my problem. I knew that I'm getting improvised every day, because every day and minute I'm actually putting my efforts into it. Though I would have failed in all my 4 attempts again, the 5th attempt, when I'm crossing my from 16th page to 18th page with a different orientation of making myself, I felt I'm crossing. I'm trying to overcome my barrier again. It's again like overcoming the barrier, and that you're landing on a side which can give you some kind of a success orientation, an achievement orientation. So that is how I was actually moving. So I knew that I will, and and all the time my obstacle is a greater. I'll tell you, it's a greater moment to scale myself. So if there is no obstacle, I would have not been on a higher pedestal. The obstacle made me to, like a small child, when it finds something, it tries to climb on it and puts its leg and it tries to roll on and roll on and start playing. Somewhere the same attitude I was actually. I didn't think. So I have to roll. I need to keep trying and roll on, climb somewhere the made possible, and rolled on. When I rolled on, I felt okay.
I always believe that life is full of peaks and valleys. Okay.
Exactly.
Not those moments when you celebrate your victory, but valleys are those moments when you start preparing for the next peak. Rather than worry about being in the valley, you prep yourself up to go up the next peak. So this is a great attitude to have in life. What prompted you to take that charge to climb up and roll over every obstacle that came? What was it that drove you? I know at that point, maybe you couldn't point it, but now looking back, what was that in you which always made you look at everything in the positive way? 16 pages to 18 pages is moving on to a great moment of success. And what is it that helped you look at everything so optimistically?
See, we have only one life.
Yeah. Yes.
With that one life, what maximum one can something can happen to oneself where I just want to try. That's all. And whatever, wherever I have the opportunity, whichever the field, wherever, that is why I always tell my people, I never ask for anything. Whatever it is given, I perform. When I perform with the dedication, with an aspect to learn. And after learning, whatever I've learned, there is much of a moment to share. And if I would have not experienced these failures would have not given the opportunity when I succeeded that to even share with others also. So the failures were greater treasure. And when I used to always say that the youth always my brothers and sisters. When I because that was the Abdul Kalam sir where he has given me the commitment that youth of India or the greater intellectual resources of India, where they can make this India a developed nation. So you have to tell your identity and your success failures, more of your failures, and say that the failures have prepared you. It's not made you, rather has prepared you to when you succeed. That moment, you shouldn't. After success, someone can't fail. The same someone can't fail in the road, not rather because I've seen people after getting succeeded. They think that there is saturation. Even and last week there was one guy actually got a service and he got into group A service, central civil service, and he took a EOL. Okay, he just came to me, sir. He called me, Anna. I just want to come to your office. Okay, come. I thought you were going to take some reference for how the service will be. He said, Anna, I opted UOL. So I was thrilled actually to opt UOL, extraordinary leave, for appearing for my subsequent attempt because I want to become an IAS officer. That is mine. But after opting UOL, somewhere I started preparing. I didn't have the enthu or the some kind of an attitude that I should be that serious to pursue towards my next service. What is happening now, Veena? Is it any psychological problem for me? I said that is the common attitudes. When someone reaches the destination, now you want to feel relaxed and you want to take rest and you want to have and take time there and shelter there. You settle, you shelter, and you have your domain. You yourself create an environment that is your domain. So that is all. So it is not that more of an adventurous. Life is always an adventurous. So someone can't say that just yes, I've settled it. And if that attitude, then so many failures, and that failure only has given me an opportunity. I didn't know that all the great achievers across this globe, they failed several times, not less than 1,000 times actually, that to convert in success. Think about how much the efforts and the passion and the compassion which would have went into them. So that the same attitude actually, I try to whether success or failure, we need to go ahead and continue and see that this failures are greater moment to share people and tell them that where and how they can fail.
Oh, wow. Where and how they can fail. I love that. Because it's always believed that failure gives you more lessons than success does. And that is where I think people like you, make such a huge difference. But what prompted you to get into that space? There are many officers around, but you are one of those who gives a lot of your free time committed to motivate government school children. When did that become a part of your journey of life? Because you are busy most of the time in your free time speaking to these children. When did that make such an important impact in your decisions about motivating kids and the younger generation?
Most of the time for motivating this government school children, tribal school children, corporation school children, first generation, because they are my target. I'm reaching near about some 2.5 lakhs to 3 lakhs per year, and also training 30,000 government school teachers also. But that happens very just like that, because why do I say it happens just like that? Because I used to select the districts, backward districts, educationally backward districts, and educationally backward taluks and the blocks. And in that block, again, that the below average schools and below average children. And even the DEOs, the district employment, the district education officers, and the chief education officers also, they also say, sir, for studios, we have, there are other two officers, they used to quote them. For studios, we have the other two officers, sir. We want only for the below average, average and below average. So I said, even I also expect the same. I don't know, I'm not for the studios. For studios, you can bring other studios. For non-studios, and again, an average and a below average, only I require. But I found the treasure in them, actually. I'll tell you. Because studios, I found they're not that risk orientation. Of course, they know they're going to secure, and they can't even accept the failures also many times. When they fail, they are very miserable. I found many studios, when they fail, they're very miserable. But I found that an average, below average, when they fail, where it's not that the score I'm telling you, the attitude I'm getting. So the high risk personalities are more of an average, below average oriented children in terms of educational orientation. I'm telling you the reason, because they're ready to take risk in different domains, and that domain only gives me an opportunity to explore their personality. And to do that, I reach every year, as I stated, 3.5 lakh children whenever the opportunity happens. And this orientation, I took it right from 2002. But in the 2005, when I met Dr. Abdul Kalam sir stated, what happened in my life was a magic and miracle. And he said it can't happen in his life also. If I'm putting myself in your state, I don't think it can happen for someone. And it's again very unique. That's why I stated it's a magic and miracle. But this magic and miracle, what this education has given you, should happen for each and every youth of India. And then only India can become the developed country, because human resources are the greatest strength of India. And every youth has to realize their potential, their personality potential. Then they can find a way and they can make up their life the best. When they make up their life the best, then India will have a collective identity out of this youth. Every developed youth will have an identity to make this India a developed India. So that moment we started reaching the teachers and the students and the aspirants also.
Oh, wow. This is really inspirational, Nandakumar, because I think that's where you found your mission, your purpose, and whatever is spurring you to do it even more now must have been that magical moment. Is there any particular story of a child with the questions he asked or the answers they gave with one or two children, which remain a continuous motivator or touched you that you're in the right direction?
I have a moment, because one of my aspirants, the Benor Shefino, I just want to say, he's a visually challenged, 100% visually challenged. And there are even many times we do not know about the visually challenged, because low vision, visually challenged, especially blind, we used to say. So when Benor Shefino started a preparation, and many raised the question stating that can her make it for the civil service, because she's being a visually challenged, and I'm being a mentor to her and also guiding her, and she asked the same question to me. Sir, how can I? Everyone raised the question, so he was stating it. I stated her, see, you don't have a sight, but you have a vision where you want to be. And since that vision, again, the vision and the wisdom can definitely make you. And he is the first visually challenged to get qualified. And that challenge, and again, I'm telling you, even after securing her service, she was not allotted service in the civil service. Service actually allotment. So then a lot of initiatives were taken coordinating with the union ministry, union government. And the union government was great enough that they created a vacancy for her and got her allotted the Indian Foreign Service. It
Oh,
has
wow.
given a greater identity, I'm telling you. That identity really, if someone even, see, I'm telling you, even after securing rank, someone did not take service. It is not for a normal one, it is for a visually challenged. So when she stated to the Prime Minister President that Nandakumar sir mentored me and prepared me, what great moment which can cherish me. And that was the moment which I always say that everyone. So, and there are many other aspects also, but she is again an epitome where I say I have it as my. It's again a diamond in my
Proud.
in my proud.
Nandakumar, you are anyway in the reflective space. And when it comes to the pandemic, the last 18, 20 months, all of us have gone into a reflections and our own with life, which told us to take a back step to see where we have come. And this pause meant a lot to a lot of people very differently. How have you seen the pandemic shift any thought process in you? Because you're so goal oriented, mission oriented. And so, what did you notice in the last 18, 20 months in your interactions and your reflections? Can you just share how your journey was?
On the media, OTT has become very popular. And the online channels and everyone. And of course, pandemic, which made many to confine to home, was a greater opportunity to discover oneself. Okay, because we never had an opportunity to know ourselves, and we didn't take an opportunity of our school time. Whatever we would have sung, we would have danced, we would have drawn, we would have done everything. The curiosity, that again would have made us to do and filled our day. We would have never felt or sat in a place where worrying about what we are and where we are. And even the hardship also. The hardship we would have taken lighter. No? So same way, when I was confined, or many were confined, the first thing were my thoughts actually were that I practiced my thought that I can reach, even being inside home, I can reach anyone. And I was actually, my thought were reaching to the celestial objects actually, and I could able to do a lot of connectivity. And in fact, the webinar platform also become very popular.
Yeah,
I could reach so many. I'll tell you. Previously, for the UPRC mentoring for the final interview mentoring and grooming, I was about to reach only some 100 numbers altogether. But this time, I had an opportunity to reach more than some 300 to 400, and from across India, from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and this side again Northeast too. And I'll tell you, during this pandemic, I've conducted online e-coaching. I've conducted free online e-coaching, reaching near about some 4,800. I conducted online 2,000 coaching across India. 9,000 plus have registered. I had even people from Northeast, where around some 380 people. I was surprised. 380 people from Northeast, and even from Arunachal Pradesh also. I had someone to get registered. And these were the moments. See, in the physical world, I was actually confined only to a particular domain.
yes.
But this virtual world has made me to reach in one time to so many, and it has made me pan global, pan India, and even to exhibit whenever I find time. I come live in Insta. I come live in FB. Whenever I feel that I want to exhibit whatever the passion which I felt, I said I start singing, I start painting, I start drawing, I start caricaturing. I did so many activities again. I started doing inside the yoga and all the activities, dancing, everything I did. And I started cleaning my home, mopping my floor, and everything. So even that was the moment where I felt even the house management, it's not that easy. The home management, house management, whatever my wife kept clean, I didn't knew that so much efforts are in it. So much
Your
effort.
wife is really happy with the whole change in Nandakumar.
Those who were in the home would have definitely felt at one time that they should start doing it.
Yes.
So that was the moment, because it is like a Stockholm syndrome. It was really an ice-breaking moment for everyone. Like an attitude, these things are only done by the female, these things are only done by the male. So when everyone become household, there is no male-female sex discrimination or sex orientation again.
Yeah.
Everyone has to see. We were cleaning our toilets again. See, previously maybe again. So we would have. I've never knew that. Though the toilet cleaning again, it was again. We felt how someone to even have the personal hygienic also, and how tough again. And there were the points even when I cleaned my toilet, I knew that there are the points, unnoticed points where we have so far missed actually also, even toilet cleaning. So dirt this much again, where it is all behind. We never knew that these places are so much dirt. So we started exploring the places where in the routine we couldn't see those dirt, but in the unusual routine, we started looking even the dirt, the settled dirts behind the screens.
For me, what you're telling about cleaning physically is metaphorically how we look at life also. In difficult times and failures, that's when we start noticing other pathways that can be taken and other things that we've never given attention to as opportunities rather than obstacles. So you're very right. And I know in this magical life that you have led with all the ups and the downs, there would be many life lessons and the people that you're meeting. As you're coming to the conclusion of this conversation, I'd like you to leave us with 3 life lessons that you think have really stayed with you.
See, know yourself, one. That's again like a know your customer, no. So like know yourself, know your personality. That's one. Once you know your personality, try to have a destination which can take your life for a very long way. Like life is not a short sprint; it's a marathon. So marathon, you need a stamina and you need a sustained attitude to run. That's the second one. The third one, once you reach the destination, don't think that you have reached it. It is actually an immediate or a temporary or even intermediate destination. There are long way. So every day you can, if you see that you're not only made for yourself, it is made for so many other organisms. It's not only the human being, so many other organisms in the world. So you can make difference to others also. So if that again, knowing yourself, moving towards a destination, and the third one, even after reaching your destination, you have a further to progress towards, and which can impact. You may not know whom you are impacting. You are creating an impact on, and that you would have not even witnessed in your lifetime. But that goodwill, what you have generated, would have made this world better.
Oh, wow. This is so powerful. And Nandakumar, all I can say at this point is thank you so much for giving time to be on You and I with Rashmi Shetty and the goodwill that you have generated. Stay blessed that this continues to be generated as long as you're here and beyond, because the beauty, the authenticity, and the sincerity with which you do it, may God give you all the strength that you need and much more to continue to create more victors, more with the attitude to face life, immaterial of what life throws to them as challenge. Thank you very much and stay blessed and continue inspiring.
Thank you so much, in this you and I, and again, and to my listeners also, and happy Diwali also.
Oh, yes. Happy Diwali to you too. With that, we come to the end of this weekly quest of You and I with Rashmi Shetty. Do let us know if you know people who make the world beautiful. Write in to rashmi.thethirdeye@gmail.com. That is rashmi.thhirdeye@gmail.com. Come, let's explore this amazing world together, both you and I.